Good afternoon to you. My name is Nicholas Wolfe.
My name is Jordan Macker.
And we are
Mackenwolfe. Why couldn't you just leave the bunny in the box? After kills that huge black guy.
I will shit on everything you love. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2 came out, made $700 million. I'll repeat that because it is vaguely important.
And I'll help you.
$700 million.
Back from the dead after being gone for a week due to many issues that I've been dealing with in my personal life.
Want to go ahead and vent?
Yeah.
This would be before we snap into
stuff that will relieve stress.
Yeah, before we snap into sort of entertainment news, let's we go ahead and give them a lowdown on your truck, on your insurance, everything that's been happening.
Well, my truck, my 2007 Ford Explorer, it is about to die on me. I found out it needs a new rod in the motor because the one that's in there now is making a lot of noise. I haven't gotten a third opinion yet, but I'm very close to doing so. But that's not very good either way. I like my truck. I don't want to get rid of it. But the good news is, and we will post pictures on the Mackenwolfe page, I have gotten, much to the excitement of Mr. Macker over here, my 1976 Ford Mustang out of my grandparents' garage. It is up and running. I just have to get the bullshit. I mean, I'm sorry. Did I say bullshit? The insurance on it. So that's something that needs to be taken care of before we can drive it. But that's really all that stands in the way.
Yeah, this is a beautiful car. I thought it was a 77.
My cousin screwed up when he...
Is it 76?
Yeah.
It is a 1976 Mustang Cobra 2. Sort of the most popular for what I've seen online. The most popular paint job is what you have, the white with sort of the blue detailing.
White with the blue racing stripes. That's right.
What color's the interior in yours?
It has blue seats.
That's what I thought.
Blue-ish floor or carpeting. Everything is pretty much blue in it with a fine layer of dust. We haven't really cleaned out the interior yet.
Oh, so you haven't detailed it yet?
Not the inside. The outside looks pretty good, though. I'm going to give it a fresh wax, Go with the old Karate Kid method. Wax on, wax off.
What kind of sound system are we working with?
In the car?
Yeah.
Well, the original radio was taken out a long time ago in the early 80s and replaced with a new one, which still has a cassette player in it. Because that's how old the car is. It's just a matter of hooking up the speakers and putting them in pretty much under the hatchback in the back of the car and finding a box to put them in. And otherwise, that's all that has to be done. Just imagine driving down the road and that thing blasting out Immigrant Song.
Oh, no, sir. LA Woman. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Fair enough.
Does it have... Now, the original Cobra, the 67, the Shelby, it had a collapsible back seat so you could fold it up and it looked like it didn't even have back seats. Is that what yours is?
I think that is possible. It would look really weird, but it might be possible. I haven't really explored the interior very much except how to work the damn gear shift. And I forgot that if a car's been sitting for close to 10 years without being moved, before you back it up, it's a good idea to pump the brakes to make sure that fluid is actually getting to them. Mm-hmm. So my grandma and I are sitting in the car. I put it into reverse, and I'm like, all right, slow and steady. I start backing up. Everything's going well. I go to stop the car because I'm in the driveway now, and it won't stop. We roll halfway into the street before I get the damn thing to stop by throwing on the parking brake. But yeah, that was enough heart attack for 1 week to...
Yeah, but that was a real good deal of excitement.
Yeah. My grandma laughed at me. That was more humiliating.
Nana, why?
Why you do this?
Why you do this, Grandma?
But yeah,
I can't wait for you to die.
Oh, jeez. That's terrible.
So yeah, you don't want to go any more into detail about the insurance company? You were bitching big time to me.
I was
like
bitching
20
big time.
minutes ago.
If I was even though I'm not a politician, I could still do this. We need to bring out legislature that prohibits insurance companies from discriminating on policyholders based off of their age. I mean, yes, a lot of teenagers and people in their early 20s, such as us, are shitty drivers. That's unescapable fact.
That's a given.
But you can't punish the majority, well, the minority in this case, just because the majority sucks at driving. It's not fair to people like Jordan and I, who both have clean driving records, no tickets, no accidents, knock on wood. But it just frustrates me. They shouldn't be able to do that.
Well, here's what they hide behind, and I'm going to explain why I say hide behind. I choose that wording very carefully. They say they go based on statistics. Statistically, males, young, early 20s or teens, whatever the case is, they have more accidents, whatever. Okay, if you want to go with that, then when you bring my rates back down, I want back all the money that I unnecessarily paid you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get in that goddamn accident that you said I might have gotten into.
An insurance refund.
Right.
Like, you know how I've seen commercials for, I think it's Allstate, they have the safe driving bonus check where...
Yeah, do something like that.
Every insurance company should have that. They should reimburse you for all the money that you had to pay for being such a good driver and not...
Or we could do the way easier thing, which is instead of it being so, like, oh my god, I don't even know how to describe it, being more of the mindset of, when you prove you're a good driver, we'll lower your rates. How about, fuck you, how about you can raise my rates when I prove that I can't drive? I think that's a lot more fair.
I'm in. Well said.
But they will never do that because they get way too much money by charging people up the ass unfairly.
Yeah, no kidding. It pisses me off.
Well, see, that's just where we are in America, though, is that we're in a country and a time wherein companies act like we work for them as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah,
and
we're
they're
helping slaves.
Like, sure, they're helping us through insurance and whatever. But if we all decided to go to some other guy or just quit our business with whoever it is, insurance company, car insurance companies, health insurance companies, grocery stores, any place that, you know, does business. If we stopped going to them, they'd have fuck all. They would shutter in a minute. So I think it's high time that they started acting like they work for us as opposed to the other way around. Yeah, this is like a pet peeve that I've had for years.
Just like the federal government, but that's on a much higher level, an topic for later discussion.
Oh, God.
But another thing about the insurance issue is that the fact that it's so risky to let a friend drive your car. Like, I know that if we go on road trips, I'll ask Jordan if he wants to drive in for safety reasons. Obviously, he won't do it because the insurance...
You're not universally covered until you're 25.
Which is
when I turn 25, yeah. I think it should be lowered to 21, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Because, well, think of it logically. 21 is when you start drinking.
Uh-huh.
And what a better time to let anybody drive your car than, hey, I've been drinking, can you please drive me and my car home? It just makes sense to me.
Right.
But, so when I'm turned 25, and obviously after, then I'll start, you know, like if we go on a road trip, then I'll take over driving. But right now, it would be illegal for me to drive anybody's car who I'm not directly insured under.
Which is unfortunate because you really want to drive that Mustang.
Oh, God. Well, we should at least take it to like a
parking lot or
some sort of a parking lot.
Somewhere. Not a dirt road. I just washed it, but
yeah, some sort of a parking lot. I'm sure there's some place. And then if we get pulled over, we'll just explain like, hey, he's teaching me how to drive stick. Whatever, wouldn't be a big deal.
Pretty much. Which we wouldn't get pulled over. It's very unlikely.
Well, if it's private property, depends on where the parking lot is.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, so that's where we are with insurance companies. Is we're pretty pissed. I'm lucky because I'm on my mom's insurance, as you are.
As am I.
So that lowers it. I did driver's ed, which lowers it. I did some stupid safe driving program through the insurance company itself, which lowers it.
But both those things are really easy. I mean,
they're
for a while.
Fucking boring, but in the long run, it is pretty easy.
You save 5% or 10% or whatever.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. And then I was getting good student discount, but now I'm not going to school, so that's my insurance rates are gonna go up by like $30 a month, which I'm not very happy about.
No, well, incentives, right?
Yeah,
they're trying to bully us into going back to school, which I want to go back to school, but it's just economically not feasible.
Yeah.
Once again, federal government.
Yeah,
Let's give them a round of applause.
That's a whole other. We should add some sound effect like a donkey. But that's a whole other topic, education. Where I think we're one of the few that charges as much as we do, first of all. Yeah. And second of all, there are many countries who pay for free college. There are even countries that will pay even if you don't live in that country. If you just go over, you can go to college for free.
I believe it's Sweden, where if you are in the Sweden or Finland or one of the Scandinavian countries,
one of the Linds.
If you serve in the military for 2 years, your college is free. Mm-hmm. I believe that applies to male and female. So they're not really sexist about their military situation there, which is great. Take a hint, America. And then if you manage to get over to I think Germany, you can go to school for free.
Yeah, that's one. There's like a handful of them that even if you don't live there, you can just go over there, go to school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's going to be a new segment on our show. We start out by ranting and getting all of our
daily rant.
The daily
DR.
rant, and the next daily rant will be about the federal government. But
that
rant would never end. We would have to have a 5-hour show in order for me to express all of my concerns about our dearly beloved leaders.
Our dearly beloved.
Anyway, until
sounding
then,
like they're either dying or getting married. Our dearly beloved leaders.
Or like Kim Jong Un.
Oh God, what a just dork that guy is.
Yeah, piece of work.
So anyway, okay. So anything else you want to say to wrap up this first edition of Daily Rant?
I was surprisingly a lot calmer than I thought I would be on this.
Yeah, I thought you'd be fired up. What happened? You need to get that fire in your belly again, sir.
Perhaps next time. I'll be a lot more relieved as soon as I get to drive that car. But
well, next time don't message me about it beforehand because I think you got all your rage out.
My rage.
So you have to hold it all in, fester it, maybe have a shot of whiskey, and then we'll record. And then we'll get you like shouting. We'll get you like Lewis Black yelling at people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So if that's it.
That's it.
Okay. Now we're going to transition. Today's show is going to be very entertainment based because there's a lot of movie news going on.
A lot of good stuff coming out.
I'm trying to decide which one I want to do first. There's one that's just like a movie that's coming out I'm really excited about, but there's one story that news just broke yesterday. So okay, I'll start with that one.
And I do have a news thing that I'd like to share too. So once you get done with yours, let me know. It's regarding the new trailer for Star Wars.
Oh, that's one of the things I was going to talk about. Okay, so this deals with Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yes.
Have you seen Avengers?
I have not seen the Avengers. I am a very shadowed individual, but that's very high on the list of films to buy obviously it's on DVD now. But
which of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies have you seen?
I've seen Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2.
Oh, my favorite of the Iron Man movies.
I think Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk.
Have you seen Hulk?
With Edward Norton?
So you haven't seen the first one?
Yes, I have seen the one. That's with what's his name?
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana.
That
Liv Tyler. No,
yeah.
not Liv.
No, Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler was in the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
But the first one doesn't really tie into the universe so much. They only tied in the Incredible Hulk with the universe.
Right. It's like all the reboots for the comic book themed movies.
Have you seen Thor?
I have. Yeah, I saw.
I haven't seen any of the Thor movies yet.
I think I've seen the first one. Yeah, I've seen the first Thor movie. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth plays a really good Thor.
Yeah, he does.
There's just some really funny scenes in that film. Just he pulls off so well, and of course,
the only scene
Natalie Portman is a babe.
Oh yeah, she's good looking.
Oh yeah.
The only scene I've seen from the first Thor is the one where he's drinking coffee for the first time. He's in that cafe. He's like, "This beverage, I like it. More smash!" And he just throws the mug on the ground. What are you doing? I meant no offense by this. Well, don't go around smashing things.
Yeah, that's when he lands in that small desert town.
Yeah.
From Asgard.
There you go. Have you seen Captain America? Those I haven't seen.
I haven't seen the Captain Americas either.
Yeah,
I know that Tommy Lee Jones was in one of them.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
And then, a stupid question: Spider-Man is not Marvel, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the news we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Part of the infuriating news, but I'll put that on the sidelines for right now. But anyway, so I've seen all the Iron Man movies, Incredible Hulk, Avengers itself, because I saw it on Netflix. It was very, very good. And you don't really need to see too many of the actual individual movies themselves to get the Avengers.
Right.
Well, Iron Man, you might need a little explanation in the Hulk.
But the entire Iron Man series is great.
Oh, God.
Robert Downey Jr., he couldn't have picked a better series to make his comeback.
Oh yeah, that just made him.
He is one of my favorite actors of all time.
I mean, and now he's sprouted off into a bunch of other stuff. He's opened Team Downey, which is his own production company, and he put out this movie with Robert Duvall, the judge. Have you seen it?
That came out maybe a year ago. Is that the one? Is there like a funeral involved in that or something?
Yeah, the whole catalyst is that his mom dies.
Oh.
He separates from like his family and his hometown and whatever, and then his mom dies, so he has to come back and whatever.
Robert Duvall is a legend in his own.
So good. Oh my god, it takes you. It's one of those movies that's an emotional roller coaster. You are fucking all over the place the entire time.
Yeah.
So the Avengers, Age of Ultron coming out in about a week. I think it's next Friday.
Yeah, that's getting close.
Supposedly, somebody leaked somehow, an end credits scene, which Marvel is known for doing.
Yeah.
To sort of hint at where they're going for the next film and whatnot.
Right.
This one supposedly shows Spider-Man because recently Sony gave over their Spider-Man character to put into the Marvel Universe because in the comics he is part of the Avengers. And they left him out because Sony wanted it to be their property and didn't want to give it up to Marvel and whatever.
Did you know do you know what Sony means in North Korean?
I do not.
Jackass.
I thought it was a setup for a
Sony.
joke. So this end credit scene supposedly leaked just yesterday, and you can still find it online, I believe. I don't think it's been taken down yet.
Yeah.
But there's some controversy as to whether or not it's real. I think fake. Because first of all, it hasn't been taken down.
Right.
Unless it's another thing of like, remember when they leaked the Deadpool footage, quote unquote leaked it, and it turned out to be the studio
with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
that's another one of the superhero films that I'm excited about.
That does look good, but it turned out just to be like just promotion. So unless it's something like that, which I doubt, because everyone's going to go see this movie, so why would they need to promote it more?
That's true. That's the thing with any of the Marvel comic books movies. You know that they're going to have a big audience. So they all have done extremely well financially. Most of them have done well, critically. So they know that they're going to bring out a big audience.
Oh, yeah.
Break records.
This scene that supposedly leaked, it shows like the tail end of what you believe are credits. Like just the black screen, the rolling credits. Then it cuts to sort of a blurry screen, and you see somebody, it's a window washer in New York City. And in the background you see the Avengers Tower.
Right.
And obviously as he's cleaning the window, it gets more clear so you can see, and it's just a really kind of interesting reveal. And then all of a sudden it sort of pans off to the right, and you see Spider-Man on an adjacent building just yelling at this guy that he missed a spot. Now, in theory, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you had seen this clip, the CGI is really bad. Like
and they're known for good CGI too.
I mean, and you can't even say, oh, well, this was bootleg during the planning phase. Like, no, the movie's coming out. So by this point, it would be done. If you had an opportunity to bootleg off of seeing the movie, seeing the credits, it would be really good CGI.
Yeah, I have to comment on the subject of Spider-Man moving into that territory. Before they rebooted it, I think it was before they rebooted it with Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, I believe they were going to make a fourth Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, and the main villain in that one, and I was really excited about this, was going to be Vulture. And the actor that they picked...
and they were going to do Spider-Man 4,
The actor that they picked to play
Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
Yes. And he confirmed, they were talking to him about it.
I wish I could have seen, just concept art of him as the Vulture.
He's kind of like the American Christoph Waltz in as much as how he speaks.
Yeah,
lot of emphasis.
He likes
I'm going
to
to kill you,
like this.
Spider-Man.
Make a move and the bunny gets it.
Yes. Oh, Con Air, bitch. Yes.
Yeah, he was obviously a lot better than Nicolas Cage.
Why couldn't you just leave the bunny in the box?
After
kills that huge black guy.
That was a great movie, though. I felt bad for that Corvette that got taken by the plane, though.
God, yeah.
What a waste. As a classic car owner. I'm a classic car owner.
I guess you are, technically. I love the end scene of that, where you see Steve Buscemi, who supposedly is, the worst criminal of them all.
Yeah.
Remember that scene where he's like, I can't remember exactly what it says, but he goes, I drove so many miles wearing a woman's head like a hat. He's like, what the fuck? But it's so great, because the end scene is, anybody who has seen it knows what it's talking about. The plane crashes in Vegas. And they fight, and eventually Nick Cage kills John Malkovich and whatever.
In a very gruesome way, which we will not reveal.
But this Steve Buscemi character escapes, and I guess steals clothes because he ends up in a suit. And you see a blackjack dealer going, does this guy feel lucky? And it just shoots up to Steve Buscemi in a suit, and you know he's gonna start shit now that he's not restrained. But of course, this guy doesn't know it. He goes, "Yes, he does." Then you hear dun 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 dun, dun, and you hear the start to
Sweet Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama. Oh, it is such a beautiful ending.
Just the scene though when they're on the plane and Sweet Home Alabama is playing, and who was it that pointed out? Well, what? Oh, yeah. Steve Buscemi. I love Steve Buscemi. He points out, explain the irony. And Nicolas Cage's like, what? A bunch of dancing idiots on a plane singing a song that was made famous by a band that died in a plane crash.
Oh god, that's so great. The whole movie is so good. I love when he's like, Nicolas Cage is pretending to be one of the bad guys, and they're trying to get this plane started after they crash it in the desert.
Yeah.
My daddy told me many hands make light work. John Malkovich goes, you know what my daddy taught me? No, what? Not a goddamn thing.
That was a really good cast. They had Dave Chappelle,
who
Danny
died.
Trejo, who also MC Gainey, I think his name is, the pilot, who has a lot of roles in, he's been in Marvel films, I believe.
Yeah, he's sort of
been in
everywhere.
everything.
He's the guy that you don't know his name, but you definitely know his face.
He's always a villain, though.
Yeah. God, that's a great movie. How do we start talking about Con Air?
John
Malkovich and
Vulture,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, back to...
That would be so great. I'm going to kill you, Mary Jane.
Look at my beautiful wings.
As he's flying. Look, it's like the tamest version of Vulture ever. He's not even committing crimes. Just like, look at my beautiful wings. Fuck face. As he's just flying over a crowd.
I will shit on everything you love, Spider-Man.
Oh, God, that's great. That's like the ultimate insult. I will shit on everything you love.
Literally, because I'm a fucking vulture.
Okay, so Spider-Man. This does lead into what I wanted to talk about next, which is so depressing to me. They're rebooting Spider-Man.
For the third time.
Yeah, they're rebooting Spider-Man. Well, it's rebooting for the second time, but this will be the third incarnation. And apparently rumors are true that he will make some sort of an appearance in the cinematic universe of Marvel and whatever. And then it's a weird deal. I don't know exactly the details of it, but basically Marvel has rights for Spider-Man, as does Sony. So Sony can do their own standalone Spider-Man movies, and Marvel can actually have Spider-Man in the Avengers or whatever. Here's why I'm so bummed about that. I hated the fact that they were going to reboot it in the first place, when they were going to do the Andrew Garfield reboot, because I thought, oh, who could top Tobey Maguire? And then I was blown away when the first one came out, and I saw it sort of by accident, because I went to the drive-thru the year that... Drive-in, yeah. Well, I went to the drive-thru first, had a cheeseburger, and then I went to the drive-in, and then took place in a drive-by. And saw Dark Knight Rises. And at the drive-in, it's always a double feature. So they did Dark Knight Rises, and then they did The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw it just like, well, whatever, I'm here, I might as well just stay. And I really loved it. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out. Oh, my God. Mind blown. And I love the plan they had, because Sony announced they were going to do Amazing Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, then Sinister Six, which is a bunch of like Spider-Man's enemies all working together, and then Amazing Spider-Man 4. Then they changed it up a little bit, which I was alright with, because then they changed the plan to 1, 2, Sinister Six, 3, and then they were kind of hazy on 4, whether they're going to do 4 or not. And then they turn into whiny little bitches. Because Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, made $700 million. I'll repeat that because it is vaguely important.
And I'll help you.
$700 million. And they were bitching that it was the lowest grossing Spider-Man film in the franchise. At $700 million!
In the franchise, except didn't they just reboot the franchise, or are they talking about the Tobey Maguire ones?
Including the Tobey Maguire ones, it's the lowest grossing in the whole Spider-Man whatever. At $700 million! If it was, I think its budget was like $50 million or something like that. If it broke at like $60 million, like, alright, that's, obviously we have to change the formula.
Right.
But $700 million! And if they had kept with their original plan of Sinister Six and whatnot, which I guess they're still going to do, I don't know, that would have really blown the lid off of Sony, because everybody was really excited for Sinister Six. And they set it up geniusly. At the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, spoilers, there's this mystery man that you meet in Amazing Spider-Man 1. He's in Spider-Man 2 as well. They never really reveal him. In Spider-Man 2, you find out his name is Mr. Fierce, but they don't give any explanation as to who this guy is yet. And he's at Oscorp, and he's walking past secret projects. It's this whole underground level of Oscorp. And you see all this technology that will eventually go on to form the Sinister Six. You see Doc Ock's arms, you see Vulture's wings. They created Green Goblin in the movie, which was brilliantly done, I thought.
I thought that
Dane DeHaan was the actor who played him.
Oh, yeah, but I still think Willem Dafoe did it better.
I mean,
Bring back our friend Jesus from the Passion of the Christ.
I mean, he came back as Green Goblin. He's pissed. Jesus is back and he's mad. Well, what I dug about this new Green Goblin is that it was quote-unquote organic Green Goblin. Because Willem Dafoe's was just the helmet, and that made him Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Dane DeHaan's was he injected himself with this venom because he has this disease or whatever, and it turns him into Green Goblin, goes horribly wrong, whatever. So I think I kind of like this one better. But anyway.
Okay, so the Sinister Six, getting back to them, it was going to be Vulture.
It was going to be Vulture, Doc Ock,
Green Goblin.
Probably Green Goblin.
Sandman.
No, they didn't allude to Sandman. In the credits of Amazing Spider-Man 2, they showed these random close-ups of, like, 3D images. And I had no idea, like, what the hell is this? Well, come to find out, it was supposed to tease as to the villains. And they showed Green Goblin's, like, the glider, his mode of transportation.
Right.
They showed Doc Ock's arms, Vulture's wings. Something that people... I can't remember what it was, but it was something that made people think that Kraven the Hunter was going to show up.
Ooh.
Something that alluded to Mysterio. It was like this white kind of mime-looking mask with like mist coming out of the eyes.
I remember playing the Spider-Man games and having to fight that motherfucker. He was difficult.
But if they do Mysterio, they gotta give him a new costume instead of the fucking fishbowl and the cape with the eyes on it.
He looks like a really bad 1960s villain, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And I think they may... there's something else, and I think maybe there was speculation that Venom or somebody, I can't remember the entire lineup.
Venom was pretty cool.
But they set it up so perfectly. And then Sony totally pansied out at $700 million.
Once again, I will say it one more time, $700 million. Oh my God.
And now they're recasting it, doing a soft reboot, so they're not going to show the origins. They're just going to bring Spider-Man back. It's going to be high school, like young high schooler Spider-Man. Fuck that.
Starting from the beginning, right?
They're not going to do... I don't know who they're going to bring in as love interest. Maybe Mary Jane. I don't know. I don't know if they would go with Gwen Stacy, because they just did Gwen Stacy, which I thought Emma Stone... I'm a fan of her anyway, but her Gwen Stacy was so kick-ass in this movie, because she wasn't annoying...
helpless.
No, well, yeah, I'm trying to think of who played Mary Jane. Kirsten Dunst. She wasn't annoying Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane, getting into just shitty situations, and Spider-Man's like, oh my God, again? And he has to go save her. She was very independent in these movies and really helped Spider-Man out in a big bad way. They were equal partners. Yeah. Beautifully done. And apparently there were some deleted scenes from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 where they introduced Mary Jane, but they wanted to cut back on the storyline a little bit, which I can understand. And they had Shailene Woodley playing Mary Jane, which is awesome. I love her.
Oh yeah, she's good looking too.
And she looked really good as Mary Jane. She looked the part.
Redhead?
I don't know if she is outside of that movie, but obviously in that movie they made a redhead.
Yeah.
And even the Amazing Spider-Man 2 they cut back on. There were so many more scenes and like some sort of allusions to future plot lines. Like there are some lines in the trailer that don't even make an appearance in the actual movie itself. But it was so beautifully done. I was looking forward to it. Now they're doing the soft reboot. Going to be a new actor. Going to show up in the Avengers, which I could kind of live with if it weren't supposed to be a reboot.
But why? That's my question. Why, Sony? Why?
Yeah, see, they have no balls. Here's why I hate Sony as a movie company.
North Korea's like, this is why we hacked you.
Right, and that's a big impetus because they're like, oh my God, we have to change up all our plans now that we've been hacked. Here's why I hate Sony. They make so many good plans that even if you don't completely agree with them, you're still like, well, all right, kind of interesting. Maybe it'll work out. And then as soon as they get wind of any fan going, oh, I don't like that, they change up the plans.
They're trying to impress one person.
Yeah, it's like, dance, monkey, and they do dance. It pisses me off so much. Would you have a little bit of conviction in what you do, please?
I had my rant about the car insurance. Jordan is having his rant about Sony.
This pisses me, because as I've said before, I believe, definitely to you and possibly on the podcast, I'm a big cinephile. Movies are very, very important to me. We are filmmakers, hence why we love movies. So when I hear that they're making these really great plans and then just pansying out on them, that pisses me off. I hope Sony goes bankrupt. I do. I hope they
It's
go goddamn
irresponsible.
bankrupt as a movie company.
Yeah, and they used to be, so reputable, and I don't know what happened. Did they change management? Did they get new people in there?
Well, they did now that the hack happened because the old CEO was bad mouthing everybody, and then that leaked out. So, to save face, I think she stepped down.
Yeah.
But oh my god, it pisses
Beginning
me
of the
off.
end for them, right? Is that your theory? That's my theory.
I don't know if it's my theory. It's my hope. Because because you know what? Have a little bit of artistic integrity. I get that movies are complex in as much as, depending on how you look at it, it is an art form struggling to be a business or a business struggling to be an art form. In either case, make your plans and stick with it. Have a little bit of artistic integrity, please. Do you see any other companies doing this? No.
No.
I mean, well,
competition.
to be fair, there are a lot of companies. It's a big thing to reboot movies now and whatever, but not to reboot your own movies. Like, oh
seriously,
my God.
Twice.
2 reboots. Get a grip on it, would you please?
Yeah, it's like you can't change the past. You can't erase the past. You can only scribble over it and hope that no one notices. And
Right.
that's what Sony's doing, and everyone is noticing. Everyone is pissed off. They need to clean house at Sony. They need to get rid of all the jackasses that they put in charge of the Spider-Man series, because I agree with you. They nailed it with the Andrew Garfield reboot.
I will go so far to say, and anybody who listens to this is free to disagree, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, best Spider-Man movie to date, and I include the Tobey Maguire ones in that. Best Spider-Man movie, because it was so emotionally heavy. And, okay, did you see the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Not yet.
The opening scene, they show, in the new one, the big mystery, and this is what it was a source of contention with some Spider-Man fans. In the old movies, Peter's big dilemma was Uncle Ben being shot. Mm-hmm. In this one, he struggles with it for a while, but his big dilemma is what happened to his parents, which I think is genius. For a reboot, you're going in a completely different direction. Well, on the first one, there's a plane crash, and it's kind of alluded to, really isn't a spoiler, but it's alluded to that, like, something fishy happened about their plane crash. It wasn't just a regular plane crash.
Yeah.
Because, they fled in the middle of the night and then caught a plane and then it crashed. So there's something going on.
Suspicious.
At the top of the bill of Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, they show what happened. And I won't spoil what happened, but they show you immediately what happened with his parents. After that, they show Spider-Man. Oh my god, it's a beautiful action sequence. It's a dark screen, and you just have that red spider that's on his back. Uh-huh. Then it gets smaller and smaller, and then as the black fades into color, you see that it's like a close-up of Spider-Man's back, and then it just turns into a landscape seen from above New York City, and you just see Spider-Man plummeting down, and then of course he shoots a web and starts swinging around, because he's about to stop. Oh! The Rhino. That was one who was going to be in Sinister Six. Paul Giamatti. They show...
I love Paul Giamatti.
They show him in just his Russian gangster form before he turns into the Rhino. He's in a semi-truck. He just stolen something from Oscorp, and a bunch of police are chasing him. Beautiful action sequence, because he's ramming into police cars, literally running them over. He's yelling in a thick Russian accent with Paul Giamatti.
Get out of the way!
Yeah, that's literally one of the things he says. I can't remember. Setsevich, I think, is his last name. Get out of the way of Ivan Setsevich! It is so great! It's so metal! And then you see, Spider-Man, because what he's hijacking is, it's a tow truck, that he took this guarded, armed truck and hooked it to the tow truck and stole it. And in the armored truck is, like, plutonium that he's trying to steal for some reason. Yeah. Maddie, our mascot dog, keeps wanting in and out.
Because he's Russian.
Yeah. And meanwhile, all these things of plutonium are, like, flying out the truck. And so Spider-Man is, web-slinging to get them all back so they don't explode and kill a bunch of people. And then, he goes and eventually saves the day and strings up Ivan and his henchmen, whatever. But the way it is shot and the music, because you see Ivan's henchmen coming as they're running away from the cops in a high-speed pursuit. They get out of the tow truck as Ivan is driving, get onto the armored car, cut a hole into the top of it, and go down so they can put all these things of plutonium in a bag and pimp away. Yeah. But the music during this, it's like dun 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 dun. It's like this really heavy driving music,
like Nine Inch Nails almost.
Oh, it is metal. It is so great. And I was like, oh my god. And by the end of it, okay, spoilers. The ending follows a very famous issue of the original run of Spider-Man comics when it first came out, which is the death of Gwen Stacy. And in the comics, Green Goblin throws her off a building, and Spider-Man shoots a web, grabs her, but the force of it, because she's going so fast and it's a sudden stop, it breaks her neck.
Yeah.
And then it goes into this dark spiral where, Peter is depressed or whatever, and he wonders, oh my god, did I kill her? Which it's revealed that, yeah, it was him who killed her, unfortunately. Like, it's pretty rough. And then the next episode is him vowing to kill Green Goblin. Like, Spider-Man vowing to kill somebody? And then I don't think he does, but it's like this whole emotional thing. At the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, Green Goblin, it's this fight in this clock tower, which, oh my god, again...
Vulture lives in the clock tower.
Does he?
Yeah. Well,
I don't think they made any connection to Vulture in the clock tower.
Damn it, okay.
But it just happened to be where they said it. And again, the action sequences in this movie, so awesome. You see Green Goblin on his glider... And then Spider-Man with his webs. They're just flying around this clock tower, chasing each other, beating the shit out of each other. And meanwhile, Gwen Stacy is holding onto this web so she doesn't just plummet to her death. Green Goblin eventually somehow cuts the web and she falls. And Peter knocks Green Goblin unconscious, so he quits attacking him, obviously. And you think she's going to be saved, because instead of just whipping down his web like he does in the comics, he jumps down. And he goes to save her, and he... shoots as he's plummeting down to reach her. He shoots a web, which how does that happen? I'm trying to think. It's like he shoots himself down, but eventually he sort of perches on a thing as he shoots his web, thinking that he'll catch her. Unfortunately, once again, he shoots his web and it lands like right on her chest, so it holds the middle of her, and she falls backward, and there's some debate as to whether it breaks her neck or if she hits her head on the floor, because it's right before she falls that he catches her.
Yeah.
And when he goes down to see what's going on, because obviously she's not moving, dead at this point, she has a bloody nose. Some people think it was a concussion that actually killed her.
Oh.
I don't have any idea. I don't know how breaking your neck versus concussion works.
Physics, right?
Right. But bottom line is, he almost is responsible for her death. So, I saw that, and I was like, Amazing Spider-Man 3 is going to be a pimp movie. Because you're going to see Spider-Man all brooding and angry, and before they plan to reboot it again, after $700 million. That's going to be the title of this one. $700 million in caps. Ivan Satsevich start this team. It's sort of alluded to, which eventually, obviously, would be Sinister Six. And so he gives Paul Giamatti this rhino-looking armor. He goes and tries to stop him, whatever, and that inspires Spider-Man to be like, oh my god, people care. And he pimps away on his webs, and then they cut it at a really fun time. They show it in the trailers where he's spinning mid-air. He has attached to a web a manhole cover, and he's spinning through the air. It looks like he's going to chop off the rhino's horn.
Yeah.
The split second before he makes contact, it cuts to black. The trailers play. And then you're going to do that, and then you're going to tell me you're not going to follow it up with a sequel? You're just going to flat out reboot it? That sucks.
Yeah. Sony, pull your head out of your ass.
So anyway, that's my 20-minute rant, literally.
We may go a little bit longer on this show, so...
Yeah, that are a little bit weaker.
How about the segment where we test my musical knowledge again? Because that was fun. Your reaction was priceless.
I will do that, but first, I want to go to something more positive.
Okay.
This is a Tarantino, how much I Jones for Tarantino. And I'm pretty sure you do too, because just great movies. There's a script called The Hateful Eight. Have you heard about this?
I have heard about that. Is this Okay, go on.
This is one that was announced, let me see, according to Wikipedia. The development was announced by Tarantino in November 2013. However, the script was leaked in January 2014, and Tarantino decided to cancel the movie and publish the script as a novel. After directing a live read of the leaked script at the United Artists Theater in Los Angeles, Tarantino said that he had calmed down and was going to film the Eight. Oh my god.
Furious 8.
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. Just kidding. JK, LOL.
Maddie can't decide if she wants to go in or out. She was just like standing halfway in, halfway out.
I'm moving the door open.
Ha. Gotcha. So he was going to do it as a book because it leaked, and then he did a live read with the cast, and then he decided he's going to film it.
Well, so what's the premise?
This is coming out fall 2015. The premise is... Let me see, where is it? The film... Okay, here's the synopsis. The film is set some years after the Civil War in Wyoming, and it revolves around 8 Westerners who seek refuge in a stagecoach stopover on a mountain pass during a blizzard. Listen to this cast. Samuel L. Jackson. This is the
Motherfucker!
This is the 8 of the famed Hateful Eight. Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walter Goggins, who I'm not really sure who that is, Damien Boucher, Tim Roth, woo! Fucking love Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, who hasn't been in anything in a really long time.
I remember he was in a James Bond movie as the CIA
He was in a James Bond
advisor.
movie. He was in The Doors, the Jim Morrison sort of biopic. He played one of Jim's friends.
Michael Madsen, always smoking a cigarette.
He was in, let me think, Donnie Brasco. He was in, hold on, it'll come to me. Reservoir Dogs with Tim Roth.
Tim Roth.
He's been in a bunch of Tarantino stuff. So, let me see. Sam Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walter Damien, Michael Roth, Michael Madsen. And rounding out the Hateful Eight, Bruce Dern.
Ooh.
This is going to be such a good movie.
Good old Bruce Dern, who's also had a resurgence in his career. Didn't he win a bunch of awards
For Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Great movie. It's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. I saw it at Sam Cinema.
This guy's picked a heck of a time to have a comeback because he's getting pretty close to 80, I think. Or maybe he is 80.
I can tell you right now. Oh, that fresh air smells good.
Yeah, it does. Kind of cold, though.
Bruce Dern. He is 78. He'll be 79 in June.
Okay.
So this is finally coming out. They released a teaser, which was just... It's sort of a stylized way of introducing the characters. It gives a name and then sort of like a nickname for them.
Yeah.
Like, here, it even lists them as the cast in Wikipedia. Like, Samuel L. Jackson as Major Marquis Warren, a.k.a. the Bounty Hunter. So that's what they would do. They'll give you a character name and then a.k.a. and then their nickname. I can't wait for this because it's Tarantino teaming up with his team. Samuel L. Jackson, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, Channing Tatum.
I was expecting John Travolta, but no. That's good. John Travolta needs to...
He wouldn't be bad in a Western, though. He was in that movie... Urban Cowboy, I think it was.
Yeah, 1980 that came out.
It was all right.
Good music in that movie.
Yeah, but
I think that one person that would be missing that would make the lineup epic, Jeff Bridges.
Did you see the remake of True Grit?
I did not know.
Oh, it's good. It's one of those remakes that's just I don't want to say it pays homage to the original.
Was he in the? No, he wasn't. No, that's way old.
That's the Duke.
Yeah,
John Wayne was in the original.
Thought so.
It pays. It's faithful to the source material, but it's different enough to where you're like, all right, I'll buy it. And it's Jeff Bridges, so he's good in everything he's in.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I would love to see like
Jeff Bridges is Jordan's man crush.
He is and he isn't. He goes through phases for me, but I'm always a standard fan.
Hey,
in terms
that's
of man
just like
crush,
your
changes.
opinion, man.
That's just like your opinion, man. More white Russian. The only thing that would make me Jones out even harder for this cast is Jennifer Jason Leigh. I don't think
Rush.
She
it's a
looks,
good movie.
She looks familiar, but I don't know if I've really seen her in much. Maybe if I went through her filmography, I have. But, I mean, maybe they couldn't do what I'm thinking of because she's like 54, so supposedly this character is middle-aged.
Yeah.
But if they replaced her with either Jennifer Lawrence or Emma Stone... Oh! Yes!
Jennifer Lawrence.
Shut up, take my money! Because I consider them equally talented. I love them both, and oh my god, them being in a Tarantino movie. However, Emma Stone recently has sort of been Woody Allen's debutante.
Pretty much.
He sort of goes in phases of like, he'll pick one actress and put her in like 3 or 4 movies and then move on. She's his main squeeze. The most recent one was...
in many aspects of the word, probably.
Hey. Don't disrespect Miss Stone. She's going out with Andrew Garfield. So it's sort of like...
Was.
What do you mean was?
Look it up. I think they split.
No! Okay, I'm looking this up. Andrew...
Well, he does that.
If you're messing with me, I'm going to be mad.
Something like that happened. You'll also be happy. He'll also be happy because that means she's on the market again.
Yeah, that's true, but they were such an awesome couple. Like, did you see this thing where they're holding up signs?
I gotta look at this now.
Where, okay, so a bunch of paparazzi were stalking them outside of a restaurant. And so they went outside and held up these signs. Hers says, "We just found out there were paparazzi outside the restaurant we were eating in. So why not take this?" And then an arrow.
Bring attention to organizations that need and deserve it. www.wwo.org. www.gildasclubnyc.org. Have a great day.
Yeah, her sign points to
awesome
his.
Celebrities,
yeah, so they're using their attention for something badass, and they're just funny together. Like I typically hate when people obsess over celebrity couples. Like, oh, they're so cute together. I fucking hate when people say that.
Yeah.
But this is one celebrity couple that I was like, this is awesome. Like, because they're so awesome together. Like, because they're just such good people and really funny.
You know, one thing I really like about Emma Stone, this is going to kind of sound weird, her voice. Her kind of
I love women with a raspy voice.
Yeah.
It is a weird turn on. Like her, Scarlett Johansson, who else? I'm sure there are more, just none that are coming directly to mind.
Beverly D'Angelo from Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. But like that gravelly voice, oh my god.
Well, the reason that Emma Stone has such a gravelly voice is because she had a colic when she was a baby. She
screamed so hard that
her vocal cords just
scarred her vocal cords, which I was like, it's a good accident.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, in April 2015, it was reported she and Garfield had decided to quote unquote take a break from their relationship.
Okay, that's what I heard.
But anyway, so if she were in this movie, or what I was saying was her and Woody Allen. What was that movie? Let me see. I just saw it recently. Magic in the Moonlight. Great movie.
Emma Stone's in it?
Emma Stone is in it. And it's a Woody Allen movie. It's Emma Stone, Colin Firth, Marcia Gay Harden, Hamish Linklater. Yeah. Hamish Linklater? I don't know. But anyway. So, yeah, Hateful Eight. Cannot wait for it to come out because I love Tarantino, and after what he did with Django Unchained, him doing another Western, like old Western, like not one set in present day.
He's proving himself to be quite the master of Westerns.
He's the master in everything he does. Pisses me off. Like, he has his own genre. Like, nobody did movies like he did until he came out. Like, where, you see action right from the top, and then it takes you back to see what led to that action, but the timeline is all fucked over. And oh my god, it's just so good. And the dialogue.
Have you seen the Grindhouse trilogy?
No, haven't seen the Grindhouse trilogy.
That's Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
but he did it with Tarantino, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's I'm also a big Robert Rodriguez fan.
Machete.
I just recently saw the feature movie that really made him big, El Mariachi, which had 2 sequels starring Antonio Banderas taking over the lead role. And the third one had Johnny Depp in it. The second one has Salma Hayek. I don't know if she went into the third one, but I still have to see that.
Is that the one where he walks around and shoots people? He's the assassin with the guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, then something that
Tim Roth, I can't wait. I'm a huge Tim Roth fan. Have you ever seen Lie to Me?
Mm-mm.
Great.
There's so many movies I haven't seen. Now I feel like I'm in the dark.
Not a movie. It is a TV series that went from 2009 to 2011. It had 3 seasons. Canceled too soon, like Firefly. Although Firefly was really canceled too soon with Nathan Fillion. Have you ever seen that?
Heard of it.
Oh, really good. And I'm not even a sci-fi guy, and I love that series. But anyway, so it's he's about this like kind of psychologist kind of guy who can read facial expressions and get the truth through that. Like even if they're totally stone-faced, there's always like and apparently it's based in real science, where there's always an automatic like just split-second twitch of your face that gives away what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Anyway, moving on to the latest Star Wars news. The second trailer for the Star Wars episode whatever, The Force Awakens 7 has been released. The most notable scene in it was that we got a glimpse of Han Solo and Chewbacca once again.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people gave this trailer hell because, of course, Harrison Ford, who is now 72 years old as opposed to being in his 30s or 40s the last time he was in a Star Wars film, has aged quite a bit, which he looks pretty good for his age. But Chewbacca...
I was confused about
why
that.
the hell didn't Chewbacca age?
Maybe he just has a good hairdresser to get his roots dyed.
Yeah, we all know Chewbacca has some really good quotes. One of them is,
I'm getting that tattooed on my back. This is so inspirational.
Chewbacca. No, but a lot of people on the internet have been making fun of this, and one of my favorite replacement photos for Chewbacca in that still from the trailer is where they have taken Harry, the Bigfoot from Harry and the Hendersons, and replaced Chewbacca with him. It's just
well, that's it. I mean,
hilarious.
I'm not a Star Wars fan. I haven't seen Star Wars ever, but I was like, don't Wookiees age? Like, am I just in the dark about that? Do they just not age?
And then all of the Star Wars nerds were getting on there in defense of it, saying that for every human year, that humans can live 100 years, Wookiees can live like 600, and they were getting in there. It's like, all right, calm down, nerds. Calm down. Calm your tits.
Yeah, I guess he would age slower. I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Whatever. But yeah, there's that. Anything else you want to say about the new Star Wars? Hey, this is your domain, because I'm not a Star Wars fan.
It looks badass.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah. Now, the music challenge. We are going to...
Music challenge. One more thing. I just want to bring this up.
Okay.
Batman vs. Superman. That trailer broke.
That looks amazing.
That looks so good. I like
the trailer.
I like the trailer.
You hear all those different news clips and stuff about do we need a hero or do we need him? And yeah, I have to wonder though. Henry Cavill, is that his name?
Superman.
Very good Superman.
Yes.
Why? What was wrong with Brandon Routh?
Well, they just wanted to reboot it. It's not connected to the previous series. That Superman Lives was connected to the Christopher Reeves series, and this is a new series and movie starting with Man of Steel, so they just recast it.
And this, I remember the Brandon Routh Superman, the first movie. It was fantastic, and one of your favorite people ever was the villain, Kevin Spacey.
Oh God, he's one of my top favorite actors of all time, easily in the top 5, maybe even top 3. It was an alright Superman movie, and when I saw it when it came out, I was like, yeah, really great. But in looking back, it was like, it didn't really fit with the rest of them. Like, it was genius in as much as they tried to dovetail it off of Superman 2 and ignored 3 and 4, which sucked. But I don't know. They spent a little too much time dwelling on emo Superman.
Yeah,
I think they needed to go.
Well said. That was
like the first half and maybe even the ending, like dwell on the emotional stuff, but. Can we get a little bit of action in the Superman movie, please? But supposedly they were gonna do this was another thing like Spider-Man. They're gonna do a sequel to it, but then they decided just to reboot it, which is okay because I liked Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But that was one that was like too long of a fight sequence. Every time you thought it was gonna end, it just kept going. The whole movie was a fight sequence. That was my main complaint about that. But I mean, it was a fine job.
Did you ever watch the TV show Smallville?
I did not,
because they really built up on the beginnings of Superman,
right?
A really good TV show with really cool Canadians in it.
I mean, of course you like it with Canadians.
Well, except Tom Muller. Tom Mulling's not Canadian, but everyone else was.
But I mean, I liked Man of Steel. I liked the way they set it up, but just not enough exposition. Although they did tell the story, but just the balance between exposition and like action was way far off.
Yeah, too much action, less.
Yeah, it was way too long of a fight scene. But it was good. I was a little confused with how it ended. Did you see? You saw it. So you know how Amy Adams as Lois Lane knows Clark Kent is Superman?
Yeah.
I thought it was witty how they're like, welcome to the planet, when they were talking about the Daily Planet. It's a double entendre. But that confused me. Did they ever do that in the comics?
I know nothing about the comics.
I mean, in Superman 2, she finds out Clark Kent is Superman, and then he does the magic kiss, and she forgets. But that's just kind of fucked up that they dicked around with the chronology like that.
Yeah, well, that makes it more confusing.
I mean, it's new, I guess, and it is a reboot, so it's kind of interesting in that way. But see, this is one thing that kind of drives me nuts ever since the Marvel universe came out. Now every other universe is trying to build a universe, and which would be okay, except for the fact that they're rushing it. Like, Marvel Universe took its sweet-ass time. You had 2 Iron Man movies, technically 2 Hulk movies, a couple Thors, a couple Captain Americas, and granted they had little seeds of what would become Avengers, but they're all just standalone movies, fleshed out the characters. Now it's like, bam, 1 movie for this, and now they're part of the universe. Like, no, slow your shit down. Tell a good story. And I'm excited for Batman vs. Superman. I'm excited for Suicide Squad, which they recently released a picture of Jared Leto as the Joker. Bright green hair, no eyebrows. It is startling.
I am still very suspicious about Ben Affleck as Batman.
I have to say I did like his voice. I wasn't one of the ones who complained about Christian Bale's Bat voice. It didn't bug me.
I liked it.
But I kind of like Affleck's because it's a lot more gravelly.
Uh-huh.
Like, tell me something. Do you bleed? You will. Like, it sounds kind of like, and I don't know if they'll explain this, but it sounds like maybe this version of Batman has, like, a voice changer. Because it sounded kind of mechanical to me. Like, it sounded like maybe he had something in his cowl that changed his voice so he wouldn't rip out his throat.
I wanted to see Wonder Woman in that trailer, though. Gal Gadot as
Is she showing up in this one?
I thought she was.
I know she's
was
showing
casted.
up. I know she's showing up soon. Yeah, maybe she is because they showed pictures and casting or whatever. But
she's beautiful.
But this was more of a teaser.
Israeli women are beautiful. Maybe that's my Middle Eastern heritage.
Yeah, my quarter Lebanese is jonesing for this one. But this was really more of a teaser than a full-on trailer.
Right.
To be fair.
When's that coming out? Next year, 2016, I think.
No, 2015, I think. I'll look it up.
Because I know that Star Wars is coming out around Christmas. So many great titles this year. Star Wars.
I think they moved up.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Mad Max. We've talked about this in previous podcasts.
Yeah.
So much to look forward to.
You're right. Next year. March 25th, 2016. I could have sworn it was this year, though. Maybe not. Anyway. Gal Gadot is billed here. Did you see the picture they released of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor?
No. I am...
Here. Jesse... Eisenberg, Lex Luthor. And anybody who wants to see this at home, just look it up. I'm not going to post it.
Oh, good. He is bald.
Yeah.
It pisses...
Not bad.
Talk right into the mic. It pisses me off when they don't make Lex Luthor bald. It's like...
Well, they never didn't make him bald. They just had him... The storyline that he wore wigs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
he looks badass. He reminds me of Michael Rosenblum in the Smallville.
Yeah, that's why I give it a chance when they announce casting, because you can't go off of what the actors look like in everyday life. Obviously, they're going to change it. Like, in real life, he's scrawny and really young looking. Mm-hmm. This Lex Luthor, he's beefy, as he tends to be, and bald and older looking. But remember when people lost their minds when they announced Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker? Horrible casting. Why would you do that? And then he's wided as the best Joker ever. I mean, even out of like the animated series, full-on movies, comics, whatever.
Jared Leto has tough shoes to fill.
But it will be interesting though, because do you know what The Killing Joke is? That graphic novel?
I know there's a band called The Killing Joke.
It's one of the highest regarded Batman incarnations because it's all about how the Joker and Dark Knight was very influenced by this. Uh-huh. The Joker kidnaps Gordon's daughter and takes like all these...
The Commissioner, right?
Yeah, Commissioner Gordon's daughter. Takes like naked pictures of her and a bunch of weird shit. And then he has his henchmen go kidnap Gordon. It's dark. I'll warn you right now. Mm-hmm. They make him take off all his clothes, so it's kind of humiliating to begin with. And they put him on this like funhouse ride.
Uh-oh.
And as he's going through this funhouse ride, you see all these creepy pictures of his daughter. And the whole point he was trying to make is he was trying to drive Gordon crazy. But it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's dark, but it's really good. But the cover is him. You see half of the Joker's face, but it's obscured by he's holding a camera like this.
Uh-huh.
They showed a picture. Someone took a picture of what's his name?
Heath Ledger?
No, new Joker.
Jared Leto.
I went on such a tangent, I forgot what I was talking about. Jared Leto as the Joker holding up the camera like that. Uh-huh. And I don't think it'll be a plot line of Suicide Squad. I think they're just trying to say, hey, look how cool our Joker is. But it looked fucking dope. Because the cover is obviously like drawn. It's not real life. So to see it in real life, it's nuts.
Yes.
It's really awesome. So yeah, that's what's going down. So you're pumped for Batfleck then?
I am pumped for... Well, yeah, sort of. I guess you could say this teaser trailer really made me more excited for it. But I never really could get into the superhero films until Iron Man. So
yeah, Spider-Man was my first interest, and then Iron Man and whatever. The Hulk movies just bored me.
Yeah,
because it was always the same premise, even if it was well acted. Which the one with
turn green, get big, get pissed off, smash things.
Sounds like a bumper sticker. But even as well as it was done with Edward Norton Jr. And Liv Tyler, and it was well done, well acted and everything.
Edward Norton Jr.?
Isn't he a junior?
No.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Robert Downey.
Yeah.
But Edward Norton and Liv Tyler, beautifully acted and everything, but every Hulk story is essentially the same. Like, he's running from the government, something happens to where they find him, he smashes a bunch of shit, the army tries developing a tool to take him down, it doesn't work, and then he's off on the run again. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the same premise. So, and they actually announced recently that people were like, oh, now that, the Avengers are coming out, will there be a standalone Hulk movie? And as of yet, no plans. Which,
not the Fantastic Four.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
There's a new one?
There's a full trailer for it, yes.
Same people? Jessica Alba, Ione Griffith?
No, it's a remake.
Oh, remakes. Okay. That's
but this one looks good because the first one they made it like
kind of comedic.
Well, I mean, I imagine this one will be a little comedic too, but I mean, they made it kind of like too self-aware. Like in the second one, how they had like sponsors and shit, and it's like, no, I hate when people make their movies too self-aware. This one is pretty gritty. It's instead of going into space so much, they try interdimensional travel, and something goes wrong, and they turn into the Fantastic Four. It looks dope though.
Ooh.
Kate Mara, whatever her name is.
Kate Mara?
Yeah. Is Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman.
Wow.
And I don't really know the other ones. Jordan somebody is who plays the Human Torch. He's black, which I thought was a cool departure.
Good.
I like black people.
I like black people, and I can't not lie.
I love black people. Show me the money. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really have too much to say on it because Fantastic Four.
It never was my favorite series.
But. Yeah, but it looks good though. The Thing looks really good in this because instead of it being practical makeup, it's CGI. Mm-hmm. So it looks like real, like rock and whatnot, not just orange foam. Metal. So metal instead of just being like orange foam. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's coming out.
Speaking of metal and rock music in general, it's time for you to quiz me on my.
It is time for me to quiz you.
For me to amaze you once again with my Rain Man knowledge of everything. Okay. Huh?
I think I might stump you today, though.
Okay.
I have some good ones in mind.
I will go get another coffee and get hyper while you do that.
Again, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this, but Nick has a pretty serious caffeine addiction. Some days heart's just going to blow out of his chest.
Just like a bat out of hell.
Or it's just going to blow up. Like, he'll do the autopsy, and where your heart is, it'll just be like ground beef. Like, I guess this is heart. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Wait, what's me? Come back. Okay, you ready for this first one?
I'm ready for this
one. This is pretty obscure. I don't know if you'll be able to get it. I have to figure out how to pronounce his last name, though. It's kind of tough. Moleisen? Muehleisen is his last name.
We are talking rock, right?
Kind of. It's more folk than anything. Think along the lines of, like, Harry Chapin.
Maurice Molson?
Murray Muehleisen? I don't know how the hell you pronounce his last name.
Was he the guitarist for Jim Croce?
Yes!
Born in 1949, died in 1973.
God damn it!
He's the guy in the background.
I had you.
He had the long hair and the glasses.
Yeah.
He was pretty much his partner for all of his career.
Yeah, and all of his live performances and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, guitarist, backing vocalist. I think he was born... if I get the month, that's just bonus. 1949, I'm right about that.
You're right about his date of birth and death.
Let's say December?
You're close.
October.
You're getting farther away.
November.
Yeah, getting closer.
January?
Mm-hmm.
January 1949?
Yeah, and he died in that plane crash with Jim Croce, I believe.
Yeah. Jeez, what a waste of talent that was.
God. I love me some Jim Croce. Jim Croce, it would be an awesome mashup if Jim Croce and Harry Chapin had lived and made like a duo album.
What's funny is that a lot of people think that Cats in the Cradle is a Jim Croce song.
They do, I know, because it does sound kind of Jim Croce-esque.
I still think that Harry Chapin had the better voice, but just
Harry Chapin.
Chapin.
He wasn't a great singer traditionally, but he had a great voice, especially when he really got into a song and he got that sort of growling vibrato to it.
I think that Jim Croce had a lot more popularity than Harry Chapin, though. You hear more Jim Croce songs than you do Harry Chapin on the radio.
Wait. You think Jim Croce is more popular than Harry Chapin?
To the radio. Then again, Cats in the Cradle was released after.
Well, you
Jim
have to
Croce
consider.
died.
There's so many factors. First of all, Harry Chapin was alive longer, so he enjoyed his success. Jim Croce is just getting successful when he
They were
died.
the same age, I think.
Yeah. And Harry Chapin was in the spotlight a lot more than Jim Croce was.
Right.
Jim Croce, according to his wife, was even gonna retire right before he died. Like, he was gonna finish the tour and then just be done. So, but Jim Croce is a little bit more pop than Harry Chapin is. So, yeah, I think it would be fair to say that his songs are probably on the radio more.
Right.
But they're still great, of course. Both are.
You can't beat Taxi by Harry Chapin. That's an awesome song, especially with the falsetto singing of John Wallace, the bass player, in the midsection. Oh.
One of my favorite songs of his is I Wonder What Would Happen to This World. How it's
Harry
so
Chapin?
gospel, yeah.
I need to listen to that. There's so much Harry Chapin I haven't gotten into.
Well,
Who's next on your little rock and roll quiz here?
Okay.
That was obscure. I have to figure out.
This one, I don't know. I really don't think you're going to get this one. And this is somebody current.
Okay.
Jim James.
Jim James.
Jim James. Oh, you're pausing already. I think I stumped you.
He is rock and roll, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's classified. He's part of a band that's classified as being rock. I only know him for like one song, but I know he's around still. He still performs and whatnot.
Okay, what era was he active from?
He's still active.
But when did he begin?
92 to current.
Jim James.
Jim James. Oh, son, I think I got
it.
Okay, I'll give you time. Go ahead and think of it.
Okay, what
Dance,
instruments does
monkey.
he play?
What instruments does he play?
Yeah.
I know he plays guitar. Let me see.
Jim James.
He does vocals, guitar, bass, keyboards, omnichord, drums, and percussion, which is the same thing as drums, essentially.
I'm going to say he was born about 1971.
You have the right era.
1970s?
He was born in the 70s. Not 71, though. You're too early.
Jim James. I have to admit it. You stumped me. Who is he?
I finally stumped you.
But he's not old. That's the thing. Go on.
I didn't know it had to be old.
Well.
Okay. He is the lead vocalist, guitarist, and primary songwriter of My Morning Jacket.
My Morning Jacket. I've heard of them. Are they Canadian?
American, from Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. Heard of the band, don't know too much about it.
I only know him because of the movie I'm Not There, the brilliant pseudo biopic of Bob Dylan, which you haven't seen, have you?
Nope.
Oh,
I know.
So good. It's a great Todd Haynes movie. Anybody?
We're gonna have a day where we're just gonna watch movies.
Hell yeah! Anybody who hasn't seen Velvet Goldmine, it's along those lines. But anyway, he does a rendition of "Going to Acapulco." Have you ever heard that Bob Dylan song?
Yeah.
He
know what
does.
album it's from, but I know.
It's from the Basement Tapes, the band. Oh, let me school you, son. I can go on and on about this.
Hey.
I probably know more about the Bob Dylan mythology than you do. You probably know more about his technical, like, on Blood on the Tracks he played with. But in terms of him in and of himself...
I know a lot about the band. The band is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, they lived in a house for a while.
Called Big Pink.
70s or 80s, Big Pink. And it was just the Basement Tapes that for a long time just didn't go released. And they brought in a bunch of other people, like Neil Young was in on their sessions at one point.
What's funny is that I don't think Dylan knew that they were recording it.
Didn't
Dylan didn't know that Robbie Robertson was recording it, and here comes Robbie Robertson just recently saying, "Hey, look at what I recorded," because him and Garth Hudson are now the only remaining members of the band still alive.
Yeah.
Garth Hudson is amazing, though. He's 77 years old. He was their organist, saxophonist, pianist, percussionist. He was like the... What was he? He was like the specialist instrument.
I thought Levon Helm was the...
Levon Helm was the drummer and singer.
Oh, that's right. And he just recently died. There was a documentary on him. I didn't see it, but it looked good. So yeah, those sessions bred one of my favorite songs, I'm Not There, which is where the movie gets its title from.
Exactly.
Oh, great song.
Wait, so who plays
who plays Bob Dylan?
Who plays members of the band?
They don't. The band is not in it. It's not a real biopic. It just takes...
Damn it.
It's open about, like, it's fiction. Like, it says from the top, like, it's not a word-for-word real true story.
Yeah, it's
But it takes
inspired by
blocks of his life and his music and makes a movie heavily based in him. Playing, or, like, Bob Dylan-esque characters are 6 people. Kate Blanchett as the 60s stereotypical Bob Dylan with the Ray-Bans.
Kate Blanchett?
But she plays a man, but it's really convincing.
Oh.
Heath Ledger is sort of like the Sarah Lown's more like Woodstock Bob Dylan with like the beard and shorter hair.
Nashville Skyline era.
Yeah. Christian Bale is like a young Dylan.
Holy crap, that's a lot of people.
Christian Bale comes closest to the voice because they didn't try to mimic his voice. Kate Blanchett a little bit in as much as like the cadence she puts in her voice. But in terms of like the nasal quality, Christian Bale pretty much does it. Marcus Carl Franklin, Richard Gere, and rounding off the cast is Ben Whishaw.
Ben Whishaw, who plays Q in the 007 movies.
There you go. And these play like Dylan-esque characters who like all their storylines interweave, and it's a really weird movie, but really good, full of great covers.
Richard Gere must be old Dylan.
He plays literally Billy the Kid. Because Bob Dylan loved Billy the Kid.
Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, and he was in the movie. And it just sort of symbolizes the end of his like huge popularity. Obviously, he's a household name, still popular. Yeah. But in terms of the big rush, like Beatle-esque popularity.
Yeah, like Highway 61 Revisited. That's Nashville Skyline. John Wesley Harding.
So that's who he plays. Kate Blanchett plays like 60s Dylan. Bale plays young Dylan. Marcus Carl Franklin plays like a young sort of trampish Dylan, like young kid Dylan. And then Ben Whishaw plays the actual author, like poet Arthur Rimbaud, because Dylan loved Rimbaud. And if you listen to his music and then read some of Rimbaud's poetry, you can definitely see the influences there. But great movie. It's top 3 favorite movies for me, hands down.
Let's see, 1 or 2 more. Let's see if you can stump me with an older musician.
Okay, calm down now. Let me see. Okay,
you can do newer, but we won't be wowing the audience like we.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Okay, so for number 3, let me see. We are going to go with. Hold on, I gotta find the information so I can fact check. Where is it? Talk while I find this. We have dead air right now.
Dead air. So I'm trying to think of some of the people that Jordan and I had met recently. We met two very interesting people the other day. We had the opportunity to work with them. We shot one of their, helped be on the crew for one of their movies. I learned some valuable experience with holding a microphone and whatnot, and lighting and stuff like that. Julie mentioned his name already. Our graphic artist friend. Ryan Alonso and Roman Martinez. Ryan Alonso is a very, very gifted graphic artist.
If you've probably seen the Garbage Pail Kids esque parody of Groot, he did that, and it went viral. And I saw what's so weird is I saw it like a couple months ago, and then met him. And he gave us a print of it, signed it.
He gave us a bunch of really cool free stuff that I have yet to get framed and hang on my wall.
Oh, yeah, I mean to, though.
One of them was a Tenacious D poster of Jack Black and Kyle, what's-his-face?
Gass.
Kyle Gass, you know.
Again, done in sort of the Garbage Pail Kids style.
And then the main reason that we met him was we were helping a very gifted filmmaker that has a couple of projects under his belt. Roman Martinez, yeah. Great guy. We'd love to work with both of them in the future. But it was really fun. The experience was hilarious. I got "Angel of the Morning" by Juice Newton stuck in Jordan's head.
Dick.
Yeah.
And in terms of other people we might meet, I'm not going to say who it is, but we might have a guest on here someday soon that will take you on a pretty good journey, and it's going to be just really. It'll be interesting to talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Provided we can get a hold of him, which is
it's looking
very
like
likely.
We might, actually. This is somebody famous.
This is the person it'd look really cool rolling up to his house in my Mustang.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for the third one?
I'm ready for the third one.
Tony Iommi.
That's easy. Guitarist for Black Sabbath.
Damn it.
That man.
Go ahead.
It's
tell me
Iommi.
about him.
It's Iommi. Black Sabbath. He was born February 19th, 1948. God. He is unique for the fact that not only did he invent the heavy metal riff, he also, before he became a guitar player, lost two of his fingers in a sheet metal accident.
Whoa, he did?
Yeah, they got lopped off. I think it was his middle and ring finger. Mm-hmm. So, in order for him to achieve the ability to play guitar again, he had these two prostheses put where his fingers should have been, and that's how he was able to get such a rich, dark, evil sound when he was with Black Sabbath. Unfortunately, recently he was diagnosed with lymphoma, which he has been fighting very successfully for about 2 years now. He is the only member of Black Sabbath to have been with them on every single release. Mm-hmm. Of course, we know Black Sabbath also produced the madman himself, the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just one of my favorite bands, one of my biggest influences. In fact, I am currently writing a book as a guitar player, which I am a very amateur guitar player. I have 25 guitar players that I am going to write a biography about, a short biography, and why they have influenced me. There will be a lot of people in there that might surprise you. There will be a lack of famous people that might surprise you. But these are my influences. Look for that in stores sometime in the near future. Or not in stores, but...
Look for it in stores. Well, you could write it and then just sell it online.
I could.
Who knows?
But...
Okay, ready for the fourth one?
I am ready for the fourth one.
This one I know you'll get. But it's one that you might not get, but I feel like you probably will. Nicholas John Simper.
He was the original bass player for Deep Purple.
God damn it.
Born in 1940...
1940 what?
It's either 45 or 47. I know that.
You have to pick one.
1947. 45?
Yeah. Do you know
January.
November.
November.
Can you get the day?
No, I can't get that. All I know is
you got it on, what's it dang, on Maury.
He was original member of Deep Purple, rhythm section, bass player, backing vocalist. He played on their first 2 or 3 albums before him and his name, Rod Evans, were booted out of the band in favor of Ian Gillan on vocals and Roger Glover on bass. He was part of the Mark I lineup of Rod Evans on vocals, himself playing bass, Richie Blackmore, the wizard himself, on guitar, the legendary John Lord on keyboards, and Ian Pace on drums, who is he is the Tony Iommi of Deep Purple, the only person who's stayed with them for every album.
Yeah.
There has to be one in every band, you know.
Right.
I have a feeling if Led Zeppelin had kept going, that, you know, Jimmy Page would have been the only sole constant member of the group.
I feel like John Paul Jones would have stuck around.
Weren't they thinking about getting rid of him, though?
You would know better than me.
Toward like the late 70s, they were thinking about getting rid of him, or he was thinking about leaving. I'm sure, okay, if anyone would have stayed together, I'm sure that Page and Bonham would have been inseparable. I mean...
Really?
Well, look at how inseparable Bonham was. They couldn't go on without him, you know?
Well, that was with all of them, though.
Yeah.
And that was with death. I mean, it's different from, okay, I'm leaving, as opposed to, okay, I'm dying.
I have to wonder, though, if Led Zeppelin had continued to go on after the death of John Bonham, you have to relate it to a band that had a similar problem, or a similar tragic incident that same year. AC/DC, the death of Bon Scott in February of 1980.
Yeah.
They could have called it quits. They were enormously successful. They were just coming off their Highway to Hell tour, sold millions of copies, remains one of the finest rock albums ever made.
Of course.
They could have called it quits, but instead, what do? They come back with a new singer, Brian Johnson, Englishman, and they record Back in Black, which would become the second best-selling album of all time.
Yeah.
Do you think that Led Zeppelin, this is a good debate question, do you think that Led Zeppelin could have come back with such ferocity? I'm just thinking of other drummers that could have replaced him. And this is kind of one thing that's kind of funny. Little known fact: when they did consider replacing him, you know who their first choice was?
No idea.
You're gonna be blown away. Phil Collins.
That would have been good.
That would have been good.
Honestly, that would have been really good.
Just imagine Phil Collins he played with them at Live Aid when they did their 1985 reunion that sucked. He was their drummer. But Phil Collins.
God, that could have been such a good show.
That would be interesting. Genesis would not have existed though, their 80s stuff, which would make me sad. But
who replaced Bon Scott? What's his name?
Brian Johnson.
Yeah, what was he doing when they got him on? Was he famous at that point?
He was actually relatively well known in England as the lead singer of a rock band called Geordie. They were very similar to AC/DC. They played kind of a glam rock sound. He kind of dressed up as a schoolboy, kind of much like Angus Young. Bon Scott had said in late 1979, only months before he died, that should something happen to him, let Brian Johnson become the lead singer of the band. And Brian Johnson said, "Oh, well, that will never happen." Well, look what happened.
Well, what I was gonna say
that was the greatest move of Brian Johnson's career, though.
Who knows? Yeah, you dying was really good news for me. Sorry about your bad luck, though. Well, the reason I ask is if they hadn't gone with Phil Collins and they decided to go on Led Zeppelin. Who knows who they could have gotten to replace it? Maybe they would have gotten somebody from a lesser-known band or a band that wasn't famous. Would have been just as good, and then they could have gone on just like AC/DC did.
Another consideration was a lesser-known drummer, Barrymore Barlow, who was the drummer for Jethro Tull. But I mean, it never happened. So I wonder if they would have added a lot of synthesizers to their music though in the 80s.
Well, they did that even before then. In Through the Outdoor, lots of synthesizers on that.
Yeah, a lot of piano. Fool in the Rain is a really cool song, though. I just like the way it's...
I don't know. I mean, those albums like that one or Presence, just okay to me. I like 1 through 4. And then, what came after 4? That was...
Houses of the Holy.
Houses of the Holy, that was really good.
That was a very straightforward rock album.
And then the rest of the albums up until... There's a soundtrack for Song Remains the Same, which is very good. And then Coda. But those middle albums just...
Oh, what about Physical Graffiti?
Physical Graffiti. Okay.
The best double album of all time.
Okay, fine. That one's great. But In Through the Outdoor and Presence and... Was there one other one?
No, there was... It goes Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, 4, Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti, Presence, In Through the Outdoor, and then Coda, which was released after they were...
Okay, so, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's just those 2 albums that I didn't care for.
A lot of filler songs that...
But really good songs, like Hey, What Can I Do? Bonzo's Montreux, nuts drum solo on that
Ozone Baby.
Ozone Baby, We're Gonna Groove,
Hot Dog.
Hot Dog was on In Through the Outdoor.
Oh, yeah, that's right, it was.
Yeah, so I guess it was only just 2 albums in the discography that I didn't care for. Because they got 2 Bubblegum. I wasn't nuts on it.
Another really good Led Zeppelin album, not a studio release, was Live at the BBC.
Never heard that one.
Oh, Traveling Riverside Blues? You never heard that? That's from that album.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, a couple live tracks they took off and from different albums and put it on Coda. Like, Can't Quit You. That's actually a live track.
Can't Quit You, Baby. That's a cool song.
That's come to find out there's a live track. They took out the audience audio and then just played the band. And that's actually a live track that's on Coda, but it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. The current Led Zeppelin song that I'm trying to learn right now is Dazed and Confused. It's very easy.
Oh, God. It's very easy, but very long.
Yeah, and then the midsection is like psychedelic meltdown,
Yeah. My favorite song to play of theirs is... probably my top favorite is Good Times, Bad Times, because that's the first Zeppelin song I learned. But Bring It On Home. Yeah. Favorite Zeppelin song to play. Second favorite Zeppelin song to play.
Very basic. The only thing that makes Led Zeppelin songs tricky to play is that there's so many different tracks of guitar, especially 10 Years Gone. I looked up the tab on how to play that. It sounds relatively simple. Right. But Jimmy Page recorded either 12 or 16... different guitar parts for that one song.
Oh my God.
I mean, he's a wizard. He can do that. He can do that and get away with it. That's why I like songs by Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, because they just went in there, they played the riff, they played the lead, and that's all. It was easy to learn.
Yeah.
But, that's the complexity. That's what makes Led Zeppelin such a magical group, for lack of a better word, magical.
Yeah.
So
all right, we are about to pass 125. Want to wrap it up? Do you want to do one more, or do you want to save it for next time?
one more.
More?
Bring it on home.
Keith Relf.
He was the lead singer of the Yardbirds.
God damn it.
Born in 1945. No. 44? 43? Died in 75?
You're slipping, sir.
I know that he died of electrocution.
43 to 76.
Okay, I know that he died of electrocution because his guitar wasn't properly grounded or something.
Mm-hmm.
Freak accident.
Oh.
We all know the Yardbirds. Without the Yardbirds, there would be no Led Zeppelin. There would be no Eric Clapton, no Jeff Beck.
Mm-hmm.
Just a trifecta of amazing guitar players. Highly influential. In fact, Led Zeppelin was originally called the New Yardbirds.
Yeah.
Yeah, until Keith Moon from The Who told them that, your band is going to sink down like a lead balloon. And then, a lead balloon. A Led Zeppelin. Yeah. And that was history. Pretty much. That first album was pretty metal.
So yeah, we are
out of time. We
out of time.
We only went over our allotted limit because we didn't have a show last week due to my technical difficulties with my vehicle. But all things considered, we should be back next week around the same time. So count on it. Maybe.
Hopefully.
At least we're consistent. We keep to our word. But yeah, this has been Mackenwolfe. My name is Nick.
My name is Jordan.
And we are
Mackenwolfe. See you next week.